There are a lot of young men out there who want to live in mama's basement and order DoorDash.
Are there some deadbeat guys? Yes. The problem is that if you'll notice, all of the blame seems to rest on the guys. Where is the blame on the women?
Well, look at what young women have to choose from.
Okay, I'm going to flip it for you. What do these young guys have to choose from? Man-hating, trashing men, gold diggers.
Yes, we might have a feminism problem in America, but it's the feminization of men.
Okay, that's true. But why? Because there's a masculinization of women.
There are a lot of young women out there that want to get married. They want to have kids. They want to have stable families.
Where are they? This is a lie. It's a lie. Also, let me just say this. Hello, everyone. So I'm popping in here today to do a Hot Topics Reacts. Oh, yeah. You know it. Something went viral from Tomi, Lahren, and Ingraham on Twitter, and it warrants a response. So we're going to dig right in. Before we start, I want you to hit that subscribe button. Do it. I'll wait. Hit that like button. And don't forget, these comments, I look at them. I see if you're chiming in, what you're saying, how you're feeling. So don't forget to comment. All right, let's dig right in and start with this clip. Ooh, spicy.
It's a major problem. And, you know, Speaker Johnson has been talking about those maybe deadbeat folks that are on Medicaid, and maybe some of those folks are the stay-at-home sons. We don't know. But I'll tell you this, leave it to Gen Z to rebrand laziness and social awkwardness as something cutesy, like a stay-at-home son. They did much the same thing with quiet quitting, where you can go to work and do less. And if you call it quiet quitting, it's somehow better. But Laura, I got to tell you, this is also a big problem when it comes to, I think, declining birth rates. People not getting married and having children. You know, that's a big problem. They blame it on women. Well, look at what young women have to choose from. The pickings are slim. Yes, we might have a feminism problem in America, but it's the feminization of men. There are a lot of young women out there that want to get married. They want to have kids. They want to have stable families. But there are a lot of young men out there who want to live in mama's basement and order DoorDash. And therein lies a big part of the problem.
Okay. Who's ready? Who is ready to roll? Me. I'm ready to roll. Okay, so there's, oh man alive. Okay, so that's Ingraham, Tomi Lahren, who we've seen before. We've reacted to before. You should go check out that reaction if you haven't seen it already, because it might lay the foundation for some of what's wrong here. Okay, so this is a clip about, from what I can see in this segment, stay-at-home sons. Okay, these guys that probably live at home way too long. Instead of, graduating college or whatever they do, they stay at home, live with their parents, etc. You get the idea, okay? And she's talking about laziness, social awkwardness as components of these guys that stay at home. So right off the bat, let's just say, are there some deadbeat guys? Yes. Yes, there are, right? We know that. There's deadbeat guys. There's deadbeat women in a different way. We'll talk about that after. There are some deadbeat guys out there. And we talk about why guys need to get their you-know-what together, right? You can't be sitting and playing video games all day long. You shouldn't be wasting your time hooking up with random girls at the bar. You should be figuring out, how to make your money, whatever your career is going to be, whatever your path's going to be, whatever business you want to run, whatever you want to do financially to get your assets in order. You should be focused on that. You should be getting in shape, getting in the gym, taking care of your body, taking care of your mind, all of that stuff we agree upon, right? And you've got guys, by the way, in the space, guys that, women like Tomi Lahren and Ingraham would probably have some choice words about because they don't know a lot about these guys, but guys like the Justin Wallers, guys like the Sterling Coopers and the Rollo Tomassis, and all of these guys constantly, Mike Sartain, another example, there's so many of them who are tough on guys. Andrew Tate is extremely tough on men. Now, people don't know that who are a little bit brain dead or don't do their proper research. They just see the comments about women, and these women get all inflamed and agitated and emotional and reactive instead of really taking the time that this guy is incredibly tough on guys. He tells guys point blank, you're lazy, you're unmotivated, you need to get your you-know-what together, you're not doing your job as a man. He is very direct and very blunt with guys. So let's just acknowledge here, yes, is there a component of society that has some deadbeat guys? Sure. The problem with this clip is not that. The problem is that if you'll notice, all of the blame seems to rest on the guys, right? So where is the blame on the women? Did you catch it? I must have missed it. Why are the guys only to blame in this situation? And she talks about things like declining birth rates. Okay. Where is the conversation about the delay in women and women choosing a career path over a family getting a husband, lining yourself up with a good guy, prioritizing that, prioritizing children in your 20s. Neither of these women are in their 20s, right? And we've talked about my story. So don't come, oh, Jed, you had a baby at 40. Yes. And if I'm being honest with women and I want to help women out there, I'm going to say, don't do what I did. Again, my path was blessed by Jesus. Thank you. I have a beautiful child. I have an incredible husband. It worked out for me. It very easily could have not worked out for me. And to be honest with you, I wasted a lot of time. I shouldn't have been doing what I was doing. We've talked about that. I've taken responsibility for that. And it's one of the reasons that I'm so passionate about this message, because I don't want women doing what I did. It's not, you run a very high risk of it not working out for you. And I've seen it to my right and my left in women my age. So before you say, oh, Jed, who are you to talk? Yeah, I'm exactly the person who needs to be talking because I made a lot of mistakes along the way, right? Did I learn from them? Yes. Was this my path to follow? Yes. And maybe this was my path to follow so that I could say to women, hey, pause. You're 23. Hold on a second. Don't do what I did. And here's why. Maybe that's why God gave me this path, because he knew I'd have a big enough mouth to say these things. And he knew that I would sit and self-reflect. Or maybe he prodded me to do that, to say, you have a message here that can help women, right? Young women. So I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, my way was the way. See, at 40, you can have a baby, no problem. No, it doesn't work out that way for too many women. So I'm not doing you any favors by lying to you. So let's get back to the clip. Declining birth rates, people not getting married. Stop putting this onus. Yeah, is there some deadbeat guys? We talk about them all the time. They're paying for OF. But can you single-handedly say this is a male problem? Notice her toss away. Oh, we have a feminism problem in this country. Like it's just, a throwaway line. No, honey, we have a huge feminism problem in this country and you part of it. The two of you sitting there, you're part of the feminism problem. You just haven't taken the time to sit back and realize it's also you. And you know what? It was also me. Take the chip out, screw it out of your head, and gut it. It's poison in the conservative space as well. And somebody wrote me the other day saying, I think feminism is worse in the conservative space. Yeah, you know why? Because it's in disguise. Because the liberals are out and I always tell you, you're out and proud with the this is disguised. This is disguised as an I hate feminism hat, when underneath they're living the same way, with the same principles, guided by the same things of the working career woman, and then putting all the blame on the guys. No, honey, we don't do that here. We don't put all the blame on the guys. Where is the blame on the women? So let's talk about it. She says, look at what young women have to choose from. Okay, I'm going to flip it for you. What do these young guys have to choose from? Let's say you've got young guys who do have their you-know-what together, and there are plenty of them. You're choosing to focus on the deadbeats, right? Well, we could choose to focus on the deadbeat women, of which, by the way, there is a vast, vast quantity. And I know because I cover thousands upon thousands of clips of them on TikTok every day, man-hating, trashing men, gold diggers, saying I'm going to take a man for a ride, and doing all that. And by the way, not getting their TikTok videos, pulled down, because they're part of the system. I cover deadbeat women all day long. I don't want to be a traditional woman, but I want a traditional man. That's deadbeat. Okay. Man-hating, men are evil, men are the cause of harm. And yes, also, you know what? It's a deadbeat woman to put all the blame on men without realizing that women are playing a key role in why these birth rates are declining and why people aren't getting married. You know why? Because women have to ultimately carry the babies, honey. So if you're making a decision, I don't want to have kids in my 20s because I want to get my career in order, and I want to be a boss babe, and I want to be able to pay my own bills, and I want to have all these protections in case the man leaves me, even though men aren't the one that leave, and you are statistically. If you're doing all of that in your 20s, you have just wasted your childbearing years that are the golden years. By the time you're 32, your eggs have dropped so significantly. Does that mean you can't get pregnant? Of course not. You're still a young woman. If you're healthy, if you're in shape, if you're not flooded with toxins and all sorts of embellishments and makeup, all this crap, right, that takes a load on the female system and our endocrine system. Sure. Can you still get pregnant? Sure. Did you decrease your odds? Yes. Did you take your fertility golden years away? Those are your 20s. I don't give a lick what anyone says to you. I don't care if you're the most fertile woman on the planet and you can still have babies at 50. Was it easier for you at 22? Yes. Let's be real. So when women make those decisions, I want my 20s to be about career, you have affected your body, your choice, right? Let's bring that phrase in. You have affected the birth rates. You, not a guy, you have made that decision. And women are making that decision every single day. When you decide you don't want to get married in your 20s because you want to be promiscuous and you want to, hop on this horse over here and this one over here and try this one out for a ride and save a horse, ride a cowboy t-shirt, which, by the way, someone bought for me when I was younger. And I was like, oh, this is so fun. It wasn't fun. It was nasty. Telling you, all of us, even the women who weren't promiscuous, right? I was not promiscuous. Even women who weren't promiscuous wasted so much time, and they're still doing it. Wasting time getting attention. Oh, this is my single time to be getting attention. Nonsense. Bull. Okay. Now we could own it and say, ladies, this is a waste. Listen to what I'm saying. Can own it and own the different choices that you would make if you could go back and do it again, or you can lie. This clip from Laura Ingraham and Tomi Lahren is a lie in large part. Sure. Is there some truth nuggets here with the deadbeat? Sure. But this is a lie. This is deception. This is single-handed blame on men. It's bullcrap. She says, oh, yeah, we have a feminism problem. It's like a throwaway line. Okay, right? Right? You heard it? Yeah, sure, we have a feminism, but it's all the guys' problem. No, it's not. No, it's not. She says, again, look at what young women have to choose from. And I would say, what do these guys have to choose from? Promiscuous women who are sleeping around, body counts high, don't care. Women who... your boyfriend tells you he doesn't want you to go to the club or girls' night out, dressed out half naked. I'm going to do whatever I want. I expect you. I expect you to pay the bills. I expect you to take care of me. I expect you to be the gentleman. I expect you to be the man of the house. I expect you to one day take care of me, but I'm not going to listen to a word that you say. I'm going to do everything. You bring it to the table then, honey. Oh, and also I'm not going to cook and clean and be a trad wife and stay at home and cook sourdough bread all day long. Oh, okay. So what do you do? Well, I look pretty. Yeah, that's going to fade. Also, it's just not that important. Yes, being attractive is nice. It's shiny. But when it comes down to it, I tell you all the time, a guy will take a less attractive woman who is respectful, who is supportive, who is honest, who is loyal and faithful and wants to be a good mom over that hot girl that, yeah, maybe he hooked up with for one night. But he's gonna toss her any day of the week. The looks just don't carry you that far. The hair extensions and the fake nails and the makeup, it just doesn't go that far when what's inside of you is rotten, spoiled, rancid feminism. Okay? And it's living in all of these women, including the two women in the clip. Listen, best thing that could happen to them is they watch themselves one day and say, ooh, what the hell is growing in me? And just vomit it out. That would be awesome. Does it happen a lot? No. Because people are hesitant to self. How many women do you know that apologize? How many women do you know that self-reflect? It's a running joke in the male community. Oh, your girlfriend apologized? Oh my God, you really got a winner, because they don't do it. We know, let's just be honest about how this works. And society backs them up all the time. A few months ago, a friend of mine's credit card got stolen. It was a total nightmare, wreaked havoc on their whole family. Financial security was threatened, everything. And I said, why didn't you get Aura? She should have. She has it now. Identity theft, by the way, is happening every 14 seconds in America. That's an astounding stat. On this show, I want to protect you from identity theft. I want to protect your privacy. I want to protect your financial security. I'm excited to share this partnership. I told you I'd never promote something on the show that I don't use. I use Aura for my family. My parents now use it. My extended family at large, my friends, everyone. Aura is identity theft protection, fraud monitoring, a VPN, password management, and antivirus software, and it's all in one app. And I'm not terribly tech savvy, as you know. If I can do it, you can do it. It's super duper user friendly. Aura monitors the dark web for your emails, your passwords, and social security numbers, and sends alerts right to your phone or your email if something is going down that's shady. So if someone opens a credit card in your name, for example, Aura sends you a real-time alert. The VPN also lets you stay anonymous online by keeping your browsing history, very important, and personal info safe and encrypted. You all know I talk a lot about the system, about the death of privacy. This is a way to protect that privacy. Check this out. Aura found my passwords on the dark web 40 times. 40 times. That's scary stuff. If you're curious how many times your passwords are on the dark web, and you should be, right? You got passwords in your bank accounts, all sorts of stuff you don't want people coming in and finding out. If you're curious, I want you today to go to aura.com/Jedediah. Also link below in the show description. And if you sign up right now with my link, Aura's going to give you a 2-week free trial. 2 weeks to see how many times your passwords are on the dark web. You can't lose. There's nothing to lose. And if you sign up, let me know in the comments. I want to know how many times your passwords were found. Come on, we got to know this stuff. I hope you'll take advantage of this amazing offer. The system may be out to get you. I am here to protect your privacy, your security, and all that. Aura.com /Jedediah. You have absolutely nothing to lose. Go find out if your passwords have been compromised. She talks about the feminization of men. There is a feminization of men problem. Okay, that's true. That's true, Tomi. There's a feminization. But why? Because there's a masculinization of women. That's why. Why don't you talk about that? Why don't you talk about the fact that these guys have been feminized? Why? Stay-at-home dads? So the stay-at-home sons are a problem. You can recognize why that's a problem. The stay-at-home dads are equally a problem. It shouldn't be that way. Biologically, hormonally, guys are not inclined and not intended to do that. We talked about this, what it does to your testosterone, your oxytocin, what it does to your hormonal balance. So how can you be a society that nurtures the masculinization of men if you're telling dads to be the ones to stay at home and take care of the kids? And that is happening. That is a message coming from the top down. Oh yeah, share the responsibilities. Be a woman. Be a woman so that the woman can be a man, can be out on the career climb, doing all that stuff. And the guy can be feminine. And then women complain about the feminization of men. You want to complain about the feminization of men? Then you need to look in the mirror, because every single time a guy says, hey, I'm a traditional man, I want a traditional woman, what are you going to do that's traditional? And you get offended and act like a boss babe, you are contributing to the feminization of men. You are. You become more masculine, they become more feminine, and then you complain. This is why I tell you guys, don't do it. Don't do it, because women are not attracted to feminine men, and they will pass up and cheat on and drop that guy that says, oh, babe, you're right. You know what? I want to really support your career climb. This is, you know what? I'll stay at home with the kid. They will leave that guy. They will leave that simpy, feminized man that they have created by virtue of their increasing masculinization and the fact that they run their house and the fact that that guy lives on eggshells. They will leave that guy for a guy that tells them, I'm not doing this with you. You're going to be the woman and I'm going to be the guy and I'm going to run this house and I'm going to take care of you and I'm going to provide and I'm going to protect, but I am going to be the man of the house. And when we have kids, you're going to be the mom. I don't want you out there climbing some corporate ladder while our kids sit with a nanny. No, honey, that's not going to work for me. Deep down inside, that woman, I tell you all the time, because they know. They know, and instinctively they can't help but be attracted to a man. A man who, yes, acts like a man. Okay, so if you're going to rip on the feminization, it's amazing. You always have these highly masculinized women, career path, doing it all. No self-awareness in their game, whatever, picking on feminized men. And I'm like, do you not see yourself? Also, when you talk about the pool of what women have to choose from, look at what men have to choose from. They have to choose from a bunch of women acting like men. Why do they want a career woman? You think a masculine guy? You want guys to be masculine, right? You're saying these guys are lazy, stay-at-home sons, socially awkward, feminized. Okay, you want the masculine man. Why would that masculine man want you? What are you doing? You're playing his role. He doesn't need you to have a career. And if he tells you he's so proud of you and so supportive and loves that you have this full career, did you bully him into saying that? I'll bet you money you did in one way or another. Not Tomi in particular. I'm saying these women and how they act, right? Do you not support my career? Are you not supportive? And the guys are like, I am. Yeah, sure. I love that you work all these hours and come home crabby as hell and are really difficult and wound up and that you have an autoimmune disease because your hormones are all wired. Yeah, it was great. Woo! Bonies, simps, squashed, walking on eggshells in their own house. Nasty stuff, right? And they get left. Okay. Then she says that young women want to get married and have kids. Where are they? Define young women. Define them. Look around you, honey. Look around you. Walk through the Fox News building and look around you at the 20-something women that are working, climbing the ladder. They want to be Megyn Kelly one day, getting hardened by the minute, or masculinized in the meetings. This is the energy. How do you know? Because I had it. Because I had it and I had to work really hard to gut it. Because it's poison, right? And I know you all see me in front of the mic now and I'm all big and you know me in real life. I'm very quiet, very subdued, and I have mic courage, by the way. No, just kidding. No, I stand up for what I believe in, don't get me wrong. But my husband is the man of the house. I love to cook. I love to clean. I maintain a home. I am highly traditional in my life and in my marriage. But you know what? I didn't have that vision for myself at 20 because I had been brainwashed. Get unbrainwashed. So young women want to get married and have kids. Where are they? Show me the 22, 23, 24, 25, 26-year-olds that want to get married and have kids in their 20s. Are they in the majority? This is a lie. This is a lie. It's a lie. They don't want to do it. They want their 20s for themselves. They want the career climb. They say, I'll do it later. They postpone it. And then you have the egg freezing panic, which often doesn't work. You have all that panic that sets in around 34. So let's be real. Also, can I just say, this idea that men should be provider and protector, great. This idea of wanting these masculine men, great. This idea of wanting all of that, great. I'm with you. But a lot of women do not deserve that treatment today based on how they're acting. Okay? This high promiscuity, nasty stuff, this sleep with everybody, this no accountability, this I want you to do all these things for me, but I'm not going to do any of the things you want. So get used to it. This is not the type of woman who deserves a man to come in and say, I got everything. I'm doing all yes, I'm going to provide, I'm going to protect him, I'm going to pay the bills, I'm going to get to the gym, I'm going to be all these things you need me to be, but you don't have to be any of the things I need you to be. Bull. Again, maybe they're not wifing up the career boss babe at, 25 because that's not appealing to them. Why would they do that? The energy is exhausted and stressed and mad and twisted and male. It just is. Also, let me just say this. There is also a segment of the female population that wants to be married, but they don't want to be a wife. They listen to the distinction. They want to be married, but they don't want to be a wife. They want to be married. They want the ring. They want the guy. They want the stuff. They want the provider, the protector, all the lists that we go through of what a guy should provide. And yes, I'm with you. A masculine man should provide those things, but they don't want to be a wife. They don't want to provide for them. They don't want to say, I'm going to be nurturing. I'm going to be supportive. I'm going to be loyal. I'm going to be a good mom. I'm going to take care of the home. I'm going to do all of the things that just I'm inclined as a woman to do. No, I'm going to beat that out of me and be a man, but you got to also be the man. And no, honey, no. You got to want to be married and be a wife. You don't want to be a wife. In the same way, by the way, that you got a lot of women who want to have kids, but they don't want to be a mom. They don't want. I know this is controversial too with these power babes in the conservative community. It's so funny. I would meet some of these women and I'd be railing about feminism. Oh yeah, it's pollution. It's horrible. This, that. Meantime, they've got this elongated career, and then you meet the family, and there's a nanny and an au pair and a chef and someone who comes to clean the house every day. And I'm looking around like, where's mom? This is not being a wife. I'm sorry. It's not. This is not mom. And I've seen those families where the kids call nanny mom. It slips. Why does it slip? Because nanny is mom all day. And the kids, rush to the nanny or the au pair when something goes wrong. Why do they do that? Because that's mom. That's filling the role of mom while you're out being a boss babe all day. And you get to say, oh, I have 3 beautiful children. But are you raising them? Are you raising them? So this isn't about having kids and getting married. This is about being a wife and being a mom. That's what lights men up, these masculine men. I'm not talking about the feminized destiny, blue hair, freaky, none of that. I'm talking about the masculine men that you crave and that you want. That's what lights them up. Not your career, not the nanny and the au pair running around while, mom goes to work for 9 hours and reports the news. No, get it straight. Also, last point, if modern women, as she claims, as Tomi Lahren claims, really want kids and families, then explain to me the delay. Explain to me I want my 20s to be about me. Explain to me I'll have kids in my 30s. Explain to me hooking up with a lot of guys in your 20s because, I got to find myself. Really? You have to find yourself by letting guys come in and out of you like the In-N-Out burger? Bull. You're looking for an excuse to behave badly and to prolong that time and still say, I have plenty of time. Be honest. Be honest about what those years are for women. Be honest. And also, on that note, if women really want to have kids young, get married like Tomi Lahren says, it would be beautiful, but it's such a utopia of which she speaks. It's not real. But if that were the case, what about the long college haul and graduate school? And why are they doing all that? If the priority for them is to find a good masculine man, right? You want a good man to take care of you and to have children, then why the college, the graduate school, the internships? Why? because you're lying. You're lying. Either Tomi Lahren is lying or disillusioned, right? This is not what women are doing. It's not realistic. They are following a male path. You go to college for a career. You go to graduate school for a career, unless you're, getting a free ride in Columbia University to study Spanish like I did and just spaced out, right? More often than not, you do an internship, you're career driven. You're trying to intern. I never did an internship, but for obvious reasons, I didn't really want to work, to be completely honest. But, people who do that, you're doing it because you want a career path. You're doing it because you're like, I got to pay my bills. I want to have my own bank account. I want to be successful. I want to make my own money. That's the path. How can you do that and also be prioritizing a husband and children? You can't. They are contradictory paths. So when you look at what women are actually doing, look at what women are actually doing. They're not prioritizing having a family. They're not doing any of that. So what this segment should have been is, yes, you can talk about, deadbeat sons and these stay-at-home sons. Sure, yes, let's get these guys to realize you want to have a traditional woman? Yeah, then you got to be a traditional man. And part of that is stepping up. You need to step up and get your you-know-what in order and not be playing video games in your parents' basement. We can do that. And at the same time, we can say, and women, you need to get your you-know-what together because you're not prioritizing family. You're not prioritizing getting married. You are partially responsible for these declining birth rates. You are partially responsible for this delay that's happening that's ultimately hurting your ability to have kids. Own your part. Own your promiscuity. Own the delay. Own your, the fact that you swallowed all this I don't need a man crap. Own your career path that takes time away from you, away from what you really ultimately are going to want at 35 or 36 years old. Own the panic that you ultimately put yourself in. This should have been a segment about both. It's not. And why is it not? Because she ate the feminism. This is feminism. This is feminism. Get rid of this bull crap in your mind that conservative women aren't feminists. Just vomit it up. It's horseshit. I worked with them for years. I'm telling you that the thread is the same. It's the same thing. A career boss babe is the same. It's the same values. Okay. Did you hit that subscribe button? Did you hit that like button? Thank you. Y'all know I love you. All right. I will see you again here soon. Don't forget, write in the comments because you know what? I'm looking. See you soon.